Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the absolutely unprecedented floods that slammed the Indian subcontinent back in 2025. We're going to look at what happened, exactly why it happened, and what it all means for our future. All right, let's get right into it. To really wrap our heads around the sheer scale of this catastrophe, I want to start with just one number: 1.2 million. It's a massive figure, almost hard to even picture.
And what's truly staggering is that this represents the people affected in just one single region of one country. This disaster was so much bigger. So you have to ask, how did it possibly get this bad?
Well, the simple answer is this wasn't just a bad monsoon season. Not even close. The devastation was caused by this rare and incredibly powerful convergence of three separate weather factors, all hitting at the same time, basically creating a perfect meteorological storm.
First off, the monsoon itself. It arrived with this absolutely extraordinary speed and intensity. It hit Kerala nearly a whole week early and then just raced to Mumbai in 2 days, a journey that should take 10. And this crazy fast advance was being supercharged by a bunch of unusual atmospheric conditions right from the start. A huge part of that was an explosion in something called western disturbances. Now, these are storms that come all the way from the Mediterranean. The key thing you need to know is they typically bring rain during the winter. So seeing so many of them show up in the middle of monsoon season, that was the first major red flag.
And the scale of this was just wild. A typical monsoon season, you might see 4 to 6 of these storms? In 2025, there were 14. That is completely off the charts. It was this collision of a winter storm pattern with peak monsoon moisture that really lit the fuse on so many of the deadly flash floods and cloudbursts, especially up in the Himalayas. And the third major factor, one that's being intensified by our warming climate, was the presence of these powerful atmospheric rivers. And you can really think of them literally as rivers of water vapor flowing in the sky. As our atmosphere gets warmer, it can hold more moisture. That means these atmospheric rivers get bigger, and they're capable of dumping far more intense, unpredictable rain when they finally make landfall.
So you get that combination of a supercharged monsoon, these totally out-of-season winter storms, and intense atmospheric rivers. Well, the effect on the ground was catastrophic. Let's turn to the devastating consequences.
The economic toll was just immense. In just one Indian state, Himachal Pradesh, the losses were estimated at nearly 3,000 crore rupees. The damage to roads, power grids, and farms was so widespread that regional leaders actually had to petition the central government to declare a national calamity. And the sheer volume of water, it's almost unbelievable. In one 24-hour period in a single town, Rejampet, nearly half a meter of rain fell. That's an incredible amount that just completely paralyzed the region and overwhelmed absolutely all of the infrastructure. And behind all the economic and infrastructure numbers, there was, of course, a tragic human cost. Across Pakistan alone, 820 lives were lost. It's a grim testament to just how widespread and deadly this flooding really was.
What this summary really shows is the varied nature of the disaster. You know, in mountainous regions like Himachal, the biggest threat was landslides and flash floods. In the big urban centers, poor drainage just caused severe flooding from even moderate rain. And then out on the plains of Pakistan, huge areas were just inundated, displacing 250,000 people. Each region faced its own unique but equally devastating challenge.
Okay, so understanding the cause and the effect is crucial. But the most important question moving forward has to be, what can we do to prevent this from happening again, or at the very least, to mitigate the damage? So what's the path forward? Well, experts have outlined a pretty clear 5-step approach. It all starts with better forecasting and early warning systems. Then it moves to smarter infrastructure. We're talking upgrading drainage and stopping illegal construction on floodplains. It also includes specific protections for vulnerable areas like the Himalayas, better on-the-ground response, and finally, and this is crucial, cross-border cooperation to share real-time data. But look, beyond those immediate steps, the crucial long-term strategies have to address the root causes. And that means serious climate adaptation. It means implementing policies to reduce these temperature extremes, restoring our natural defenses like wetlands and floodplains, and fundamentally rethinking how we build our cities so that they work with water, not against it. To summarize, this quote from the analysis really says it all. The 2025 deluge wasn't just a bad monsoon. It was a perfect storm of interconnected events, all of them amplified and made more extreme by a warming planet.
And that leaves us with a final and pretty provocative thought. The events of 2025 are a clear signal that our climate reality is different now. The question we all have to ask ourselves is whether our planning, our infrastructure, and our mindset have changed to face it.